What's up guys, welcome to the channel. I'm Salty Sleggy, thanks for tuning in. Now today's video is going to be a little bit different. I don't usually do videos like this. I'm going to try and best explain why people think that Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League looks like Fortnite. So this video will mainly focus on the technical side when it comes to actually making games and what systems are available and are in place to this day to create some of the games that we know and love. So if you do enjoy videos like this, you'll have to let me know in the comments down below to help me determine whether I should consider making videos like this in the future. Now we've got that out of the way, okay, why does Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League look like Fortnite? Well, in order to kind of explain this, I will direct you straight to the Unreal Engine page. Now on the Unreal Engine page, we have this gameplay ability system. Now this system is basically a blueprint, a framework for building types of abilities and attributes that you might find in an RPG, such as Suicide Squad. Now, if you have any knowledge of engines, you'll know that the Arkham series originally started on Unreal Engine 3, and this was incorporated into Unreal Engine 4 and then passed on to Unreal Engine 5 and is available to everybody for free, including developers. And this blueprint is the actual original Fortnite blueprint for these kind of systems. It has been iterated upon, but it's still at its core the original blueprint for Fortnite and can be used throughout the gaming industry for anybody that wants to build a game using Unreal Engine. Everything from cooldown timers that you see in a lot of games, including Hogwarts Legacy. You use your wand, you see that timer go down, you can't use that spell until that timer comes back. You can change the level ability and its effects at each level, so it goes up. Say you've got, your higher level, you can get higher, more damage, activate particles, sound effects, and more. The gameplay ability system can help you design, implement, and efficiently network in-game abilities from as simple as jumping to as complex as your favorite character's ability set in any modern RPG. Now, a lot of gamers should know this anyway. Most games, they have abilities, they have cooldowns, etc. This is like a standard thing. That is why when you look at Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, you're just like, oh, it just looks like another generic shooter, shooting purple things with your abilities that are probably on cooldown, and you've got talents. It doesn't look very innovative and it looks bland. It's not pushing the envelopes, etc. And that's because these systems have been in place for years, and especially developers using the Unreal Engine will be using the exact same blueprint systems as their first starting point, which they can iterate upon and obviously create a better experience. That's why when I looked at Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League and I saw the movement, the way Boomerang can transition from a slide straight into a special, straight back into the air, etc., that is all smooth, that is all polished, that is developers' hard work. It's not something easily pulled off, by the way. These little things make a difference, especially when it comes to gameplay. So I believe that Rocksteady have used this blueprint, and that is the reason why you think it looks generic and why you think it looks like Fortnite. Now, if we switch over to the online side of the game and compared to, say, a single player experience where you're getting 60 frames per second, though this game is 60 frames per second, even though it's a multiplayer title, and I'll tell you why it is 60 frames per second. Because it is online, that is why. And why does it matter if it's online? That will get 60 frames per second. I'll let the lead gameplay designer at Ubisoft Massive explain it for you. He's called Frederick Thylander. Regarding Outriders to Young Ye. Young asked why a studio would use this type of online method when constructing a game, such as a looter shooter. Bear in mind these tweets are from 2019, 2 years prior to when Outriders came out. So he responded by saying, I didn't make Outriders, of course, so I can only speak for a pretty similar game I did make, The Division. You do it because you can run more. The 2013 laptop CPU that is in an Xbox One or PS4 isn't too capable, so you run heavy things like raycasting and AI on the server. And that way you can let the console do more things, better graphics, better animations, better physics and destruction. You can do a larger world because the server can hold the whole thing in memory, while the console only has to care about the local part. This becomes especially relevant when you want to share that world. In Division, I can shoot something in East Manhattan and you can shoot something in West Manhattan, and then we can both cross to each other's sides and the loot remains because the server has it. By putting things server side, it alleviates certain things on console systems that they don't have to load up. They don't have, it doesn't have to deal with those tasks. Therefore, it's alleviating that problem for your console and you get better performance, you get better graphics. So for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, it will be server side. So the AI is loaded up in that instance. The behavior of the AI is loaded up in that instance, the open world, and the replication of 4 players, not just one, because there's no need to replicate if there's only 1 player. You've got 4 players killing things, loot dropping, and you have to have those 4 instances of replication every time so it looks smooth. So these things take up memory in your system, and to alleviate that, you put it server side so that your system doesn't have to deal with it and you get that better performance and graphics. It's as simple as that. Transferring the load to the server to deal with it, your system doesn't have to deal with it. Because if the console has to deal with it, which we actually saw in Gotham Knights, that is the reason you got 30 frames a second, because Gotham Knights loads the entire world up, it loads all the AI, it loads all the behaviors of the AI, all the abilities, from both sides, the AI and yourself, and all that is replicated and then put it on 2 people. It has to be replicated again. And believe you me, PlayStation 5 and an Xbox is not powerful enough to deal with those types of tasks that the game is asking for compared to your superior PC. It just isn't, and that's why you can get 60 frames on a PC, because it can deal with those tasks. Now we can also look at the bad side of the fact of it being online only. Yes, it means that when the server shut down, you will lose that game forever. Unlike Gotham Knights, you will never lose that. That will always be there. And even Frederick himself said it is disheartening to see all that work that you've actually done as a developer just basically disappear. So the developers have that same sentiment that they're going to lose all their hard work when eventually those servers do get shut down. And he even put a tweet out recently about after he'd seen Suicide Squad, and he says, all other aspects aside, as a combat designer, I feel bad for Rocksteady not being able to use slow motion in Suicide Squad game due to it being online co-op, such a great tool for their combat historically. So as you can see, even developers sympathize with other studios regarding how they're structuring their game. And then another thing is obviously for the whole Warner Brothers want to see what you're doing, because if you're not aware of Warner Brothers' situation, they only have enough money to put out 2 movies. They're billions in the hole, and they need cash. They need a lot of cash. People are not going to their movies. People are not buying things. In order for the company to sustain itself, it needs extra cash flow. It needs that extra revenue to keep it afloat in order to provide you with this kind of entertainment that you've expected. And as we've seen recently, Hogwarts Legacy has been a major success for Warner Brothers, so that's put some cash back in their pocket. So I can understand why people are angry and upset, expecting a more grounded Arkham experience. But the severity of the situation for Warner Brothers is they need revenue, and they need it bad. And the execs at Warner Brothers probably thought, well, Hogwarts Legacy, it's got the brand, it's got the fan base, we don't need to incorporate any of these kind of mechanics within the game because it'll just sell like hotcakes. Whereas the Suicide Squad, like I've seen a lot of reactors, they don't care for these characters. I care for these characters. I actually like these kind of characters. I enjoyed the Suicide Squad remake by James Gunn, but from a box office level, it didn't do very well. If the characters are done well, I'm going to enjoy them. I still enjoy Batman. I still enjoy Superman. Of course I want to see a Superman game. Who doesn't? I want to see a Flash game. And I also feel like Warner Brothers are still like on the back foot. They're still trying to catch up with themselves because they probably wanted this to tie in with James Gunn's Suicide Squad, but it didn't happen. So they're kind of trying to catch up from 2021. Then leadership changed. Now you've got James Gunn in charge, trying to reset the DC timeline and start anew. And like I said in my previous video, if this is the last hurrah for Rocksteady, I'm still going to be there for it. So the best way to describe it is that Warner Brothers are not taking a risk. They're just being safe with this and then trying to monetize it as much as they can, hopefully get a bit more cash flow, and they can discard it if it is a failure, which is a shame, to be honest. But I think I've rambled on long enough. I hope I've been able to kind of explain the situation regarding bigger things, not just within the game itself, but within the actual industry. I hope I've provided a bit more clarity and some value to the conversation. So with that said, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please support it with a like because it really helps out me on the channel, and I wouldn't ask otherwise. If you didn't like it, I'm sorry to disappoint. Subscribe for more upcoming games. You'll find other games on my channel if you want to check those out. You'll find social links down below if you want to support me in that space. Hit that notification bell, and as always, have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time.